Alright, let's kick things off with a real humdinger. Did you know that every single ball used in Major League Baseball, yes, every single one, is covered in mud from a secret location? Welcome to the channel. Here are 20 random facts that will blow your mind. And it's not just any mud, mind you. This is special mud carefully harvested from a secret location along the Delaware River by a man whose sole job is to provide the MLB with their mud fix. Apparently this mud, known as Lena Blackburn Original Baseball Rubbing Mud, is the secret sauce that gives baseballs their grip. Who knew mud was such a crucial element of America's pastime? Now let's hop on over to the Amazon rainforest and meet the Piraha tribe, a group of folks who make the Amish look like early adopters of technology. The Piraha have a language so unique, so utterly mind-bending, that linguists are still scratching their heads trying to fully understand it. You see, the Piraha language doesn't have words for numbers. None. Zip. Zilch. They also don't have a past tense or any concept of time beyond the immediate present. Try wrapping your head around that for a second. From the rainforest to the ocean depths, prepare to meet the blanket octopus, a creature that takes sexual dimorphism to a whole new level. Fact 3. The blanket octopus has the largest size discrepancy between sexes of any animal. We're talking about a species where the females can grow to over 6 feet long, while the males are about the size of your thumbnail. That's right, folks, thumbnail-sized males trying to woo partners that could swallow them whole without even noticing. It's like a rom-com where one of the leads is a giant inflatable pool toy, and the other is a grain of rice. Remember that time in elementary school when you learned about grafting plants? Well, some mad scientist out there took that lesson to heart. Fact 4. The pomato is a plant that is both a tomato and a potato plant. Yes, it really exists. This creation yields both juicy cherry tomatoes and hearty potatoes, proving that sometimes playing with your food can lead to delicious results. Let's talk about Stephen King, the master of horror himself. Now, King is known for his vivid imagination and terrifying tales. Fact 5. The location for one of his most iconic novels, The Shining, was chosen entirely at random. King literally closed his eyes, spun a globe, or maybe it was a map, details are fuzzy, and blindly jabbed his finger at a random spot. And where did his finger land? Boulder, Colorado, the future home of the Overlook Hotel. Now let's dive back into the water, shall we? But be warned, this next fact is not for the faint of heart. Meet the sheep's head fish, a creature so horrifying, so utterly unsettling, that it makes a goblin shark look like a Finding Nemo reject. Why so scary, you ask? Fact 6. Because the sheep's head fish has human-like teeth. Rows and rows of them, crammed into its gaping maw. Imagine opening your tackle box and pulling out a fish with a mouthful of pearly whites, just staring up at you. It freaks me out. Okay, let's take a break from the terrifying and delve into something heartwarming. The 1936 Olympics in Berlin were a tense affair, to say the least. Fact 7. Luz Long, a German athlete, gave Jesse Owens advice during the long jump. Long won the silver medal, Owens won the gold. Long was killed in World War II, but Owens befriended Long's son and served as the best man at his wedding. Ever wonder why some people seem to be immune to body odor? Well, it turns out there's a gene for that. Fact 8, specifically a gene called ABCCC11, which is more common in people of East Asian descent. This lucky gene not only reduces body odor but also results in a drier type of earwax. So, there you have it, the secret to smelling fresh is all in your genes. Now let's talk about San Marino, a tiny microstate nestled within Italy that's smaller than most major airports. Fact 9. Despite its diminutive size, San Marino has a big claim to fame. It's the least populous country to have ever won an Olympic medal. In fact, they won not 1 but 3 medals at the 2020 Tokyo Games, proving that good things come in small packages. We use them every day, but have you ever stopped to wonder who invented the fire hydrant? Well, get ready to have your mind blown, again, because nobody knows. That's right, the inventor of this essential firefighting tool is lost to the annals of history. Why? Because the patent for the fire hydrant was destroyed in a fire, although credit often goes to Frederick Graf. Let's talk about Jimmy Carter, the 39th President of the United States and a man who apparently has a bone to pick with a giant peanut statue. Fact 11. You see, Every week, on his way to church, President Carter passes by a 13-foot-tall peanut statue with a toothy grin plastered across its face. The president has stated that he doesn't like the smile on the statue. For those of you who hated doing chores as a kid, I've got some bad news. Fact 12. The Harvard study of adult development, which has been following the lives of hundreds of people for over 85 years, found a surprising correlation. Those who did more chores as children were more successful and happier later in life. So, all those times your parents told you that chores build character, they were right. Prepare to delve into the world of paleontology with the Tully Monster. Fact 13. The Tully Monster is a creature so bizarre, so utterly perplexing, that scientists still aren't sure what the heck it is. This 300-million-year-old fossil found only in Illinois looks like something out of a fever dream. It had a long tube-like body, a spade-shaped tail, and eyes that stuck out on stalks. Now let's talk about the term bushwhacker. No, not the delicious chocolatey cocktail, although that's certainly a topic for another video. Fact 14. The term bushwhacker, which refers to a form of guerrilla warfare that was used in several American wars, including the Revolutionary War and the Civil War. Bushwhackers were known for their surprise attacks and their ability to blend in with the civilian population. Deep in the Mojave Desert, nestled within Death Valley National Park, lies a tiny pool of water called Devil's Hole. Fact 15. Pupfish, one of the most rare endangered fish species, lives exclusively in Devil's Hole, a single tiny pool of water of unknown depth, roughly 90 miles northwest of Las Vegas. This tiny fish, measuring just an inch long, is a living fossil, a remnant of a time when the American Southwest was a much wetter place. Let's talk about Dan Aykroyd, the comedic genius behind Ghostbusters, Blues Brothers, and countless other classic films. But Aykroyd is more than just a funny man. He's also a fascinating individual with a unique set of traits. Fact 16. Dan was born with webbed toes and heterochromia, a condition that gives him two different colored eyes. He also has Tourette's syndrome and Asperger's syndrome. Ever feel like the world is run by invisible forces manipulating ones and zeros behind the scenes? Well, when it comes to our money, that's not too far from the truth. Fact 17. Only about 8% of the world's currency exists as physical money. The rest, a whopping 92%, exist only as digital records on computers. Whenever you're feeling flush with cash, just remember, it's all just ones and zeros, baby. Nature is full of strange and wonderful creatures, but few are as simultaneously fascinating and horrifying as the assassin bug. Fact 18. This insect has a rather unique hunting strategy. It sucks the insides out of its prey, then wears their empty exoskeletons as a macabre suit of armor. Abraham Lincoln's assassination is one of the most tragic events in American history, and it turns out it could have been avoided if only his bodyguard hadn't gone on a little bender. Fact 19. John Frederick Parker, Lincoln's assigned protector, decided to abandon his post at intermission during a play at Ford's Theater. He got drunk at a saloon and then fell asleep. He was fired 3 years later for falling asleep again on duty. And finally, we end our journey into the bizarre with the New Mexico whiptail lizard, a creature that throws everything we thought we knew about biology out the window. Fact 20. The New Mexico whiptail lizard is an all-female species, no males needed. They reproduce through a process called parthenogenesis, essentially cloning themselves. But here's where things get really interesting. Despite being all-female, they still engage in mating behaviors with each other. Well, there you have it, 20 random facts that hopefully blew your mind at least a little bit. From mud-covered baseballs to all-female lizard orgies, we've covered a lot of ground today. So hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. There's always a weird fact out there waiting to put a smile on your face. Until next time, keep discovering, one fact at a time.